Hello Jack.
Hello Lucas.
Przede wszystkim powiedz mi, co się stało w Polsce, bo przyleciałeś wczoraj i do dzisiaj nie masz bagażu.
Well, one of my bags made it. One of them is still in London.
In London?
Well, it may be here tonight. We'll find out later.
Przyjechałeś do Polski na zaproszenie Marcina Kozarawskiego. Czego zamierzasz nauczyć Polaków?
Well, I'm going to teach a basic system that teaches people how to get from where they are in life to where they really want to be. How to accelerate their path to success, whether it's financial, relational, social change, physical, athletics, whatever they want. It's a system that works always. We always say the principles always work if you always work the principles.
Okay.
And so we'll break that down into about 15 to 20 steps so that people can do it and create greater success in their life.
Jesteś jednym z najpopularniejszych trenerów na świecie, najpopularniejszych w Stanach. Jakie trzeba mieć predyspozycje, żeby być takim trenerem?
I think the first thing is you have to really care to want to make a difference in the lives of others, really to support and help people. I think secondly, you have to have lived a life of success yourself. A lot of people read things, write a book, and then they're an expert, but they're really not because they haven't really produced a result in the world. So I think you have to live your own principles, walk the talk. You have to learn how to tell motivational and inspirational stories, like your story with Lady Gaga. I think that's very incredible and wonderful. And I think you have to be someone who is able to take complex topics and make them simple and understandable to the average person.
Czy pamiętasz ten moment, kiedy zdecydowałeś się trenować ludzi?
It all started when I was teaching high school history in the United States, and all of my students were inner city black kids, and they weren't really motivated. And so I said, I got to learn how to motivate these kids to want to learn. And as a result of that, I met a man named W. Clement Stone, who was worth $600 million. And he had written a book called The Success System That Never Fails. And so I went and took his course. I liked it so much, he ended up hiring me to teach teachers, to go around the whole country and teach teachers how to motivate their kids. And one day this woman said, my husband owns a company, his employees need what you do. And so he hired me to come work in his company. And that was really great, and I enjoyed it. And then in 1993, we had the first Gulf War, where there was a recession in America, and all the money for teacher training died. There wasn't any. So I had to totally move my company into working with the general public, doing seminars and working with corporations.
Dlaczego ludzie często nie doceniają rozwoju osobistego poprzez tego typu spotkania, jakie ty oferujesz?
I think that a lot of people, it's a mindset. Some people really believe that if you work on yourself, you can achieve more. And some people don't believe they can change their mindset. It's really a belief. And if you believe you can do it and you are desiring of having more, you'll do it. If you don't think you can, you won't. And it's our belief that really runs our life.
Jaką największą publiczność miałeś przed sobą?
I think 20,000 people.
20,000 people?
20,000 people.
Where?
In Orlando, Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Big convention center.
Jakie to są emocje? Aż mi przeszły ciarki.
Well, the person that spoke before me was Bill Cosby, the actor.
Yeah, I know.
So I was a little nervous.
Really?
But I always say he was a great warm-up act. So.
Jaka jest najbardziej spektakularna przemiana, której byłeś świadkiem, a stała się ona dzięki tobie?
I think the most exciting story was I was speaking in Manila in the Philippines, and a man came in to interview me the night before, much like you're doing today, but he was working for a newspaper. And at the end of it, I said, that was a great interview. How long have you been doing this? He said, you're my first interview. And I said, really? And he told me that he had lost his, he was running a restaurant, went bankrupt, his wife left him, he had no car, he had come there on a bus, he had $3 in his pocket. I gave him a $20 bill and a copy of my book, and I said, be my guest at my seminar tomorrow. I came back to Manila 2.5 years later. He walks in with 20 people all wearing the same color blue blazer, and he was now the #1 motivational speaker in the Philippines. He had made over $1 million a year, he had 2 houses. And I said, my God, John, his name was John Caleb. I said, how did you do this? He said, I read your book. And he said, you were successful, I wasn't. I decided I was going to do everything you said in that book and for 1 year, and we'll see what happens. And he said, 1 year later, I was a millionaire.
Oh my gosh, amazing, really great story. Jaki był twój najgorszy okres w życiu i jak udało tobie się z niego wyjść?
I think the worst time in my life was when I got divorced. And it was very painful. And I lost all my money. I got to keep my business. My wife took all the money. And she had a very difficult lawyer, which made it very painful for me. And as many people like to say, you know, I got screwed. And I had to start over, literally. And it was about 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah. And it took me about a year to get over that. And then I realized that it was a gift. And the reason it was a gift, because I had gotten really comfortable with the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. I'd made a lot of money and I was very successful. And I was starting to get a little lazy. And when that happened, it forced me to really recommit myself to making a bigger difference. And that's really when this book came out. That's the result of it.
A propos książki, polecam oczywiście wszystkim. Powiedz mi proszę, jak przedostać się z miejsca, w którym jesteśmy, do miejsca, w którym chcielibyśmy być?
Well, the first thing you have to do is decide where you want to be. Most people don't have goals. They don't know where they want to be. So you have to get clear what's your vision, what's your goal. The second thing is you have to believe it's possible. The third thing is you have to stop blaming anybody else, take full responsibility for your life. The next thing you have to do is come up with a plan. Most people don't plan. If you don't know how to do it, find someone who's already done what you want to do and ask them to mentor you, to teach you, read their books, take their seminars, whatever it might be. And then you've got to get into action. You have to take action. I think you have to visualize what it is you want every day. I notice on your wall you have imagination is more important than knowledge. I totally believe that. And so if you close your eyes and you visualize where you want to be every day and you see yourself having already accomplished your goal, two things happen. The law of attraction kicks in and it starts to attract to you people, opportunity, money, things that will help you achieve your goal. And more importantly, I think so, is that it will actually activate a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, which will allow you to start seeing resources and have creative ideas that you never had before and see things in your environment that were always there but you never saw. Like right now, Lucas, you're not aware of what you're feeling in your left foot, but as soon as I can say it, you're aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is that information was streaming up your leg, up your spine, into your brain, and then the brain filtered it out. It's like a little appointment secretary or a switchboard operator in the bottom of your brain. And it said, that's not important, that's not important. But as soon as I said left foot, it became important. Well, what happens is when you have a goal and you visualize it, and you do that for 30 days in a row, and there's a whole bunch of science behind that, what happens is it tells that little switchboard operator, let in anything that will help me achieve that goal. And it totally rewires your brain. And that's important. The next thing is, you're going to get inspired actions to take. In other words, you're going to be sitting there and you'll all of a sudden have an inspirational idea. You have to act on it. You have to act on it immediately. Most people have good ideas, but they don't take action. The third thing is you have to respond to feedback. Not every action works. So you have to do something and then see what happens. I mean, you tried to meet Lady Gaga once, didn't work. Second time you tried something different, it worked. And so you keep doing things until it works. And you ask people for feedback. What could I do it better? What would make it more effective? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate me as a speaker? How would you rate your television show? The key question is, what would it take to make it a 10? That's where the value is. And then have the courage to do that. And the last thing, well, two more things that are really important. Number one, persevere. Never give up. Always keep going no matter what. This book was rejected by about 20 different publishers before we got it published. Chicken Soup for the Soul was rejected by 144 publishers over the course of a year before we got a publisher. But now that series has 500 million books, 500 million in print. It's made me very wealthy, not giving up. The last thing I would say is you need to have a mastermind group of people that you meet with regularly that support you and brainstorm ideas, and then have a one-on-one accountability partner. So if you were my partner, every day we'd call each other around 8 o'clock in the morning and we'd say 5 things we're going to do today. You'd tell me your 5, I'd tell you my 5. Now we hold each other accountable because so many people today are single, solo entrepreneurs. They don't have a boss and so they get lazy. But if you have an accountability partner, that keeps you in action.
I'm not lazy. Jaki jest podstawowy błąd ludzi w dążeniu do celu?
I think the basic mistake people make when they want to achieve a goal is, number one, they don't write the goals you have to write how much by when. Be very specific. So a lot of times people say, I want to be wealthy, but they don't say how much money. They don't say by when. The second thing is people don't visualize their goals. And I'd say the third thing is they have subconscious limiting beliefs. Like I may say, I want to have a Mercedes-Benz, but underneath I believe I can't afford it. I want to be president of a company, but I don't think I have enough political influence in the company. I want to go to medical school and be a doctor, but I can't afford it. So there's these limiting beliefs, you know, that money is evil, that power corrupts, that if I have a lot of money, people won't like me, or they'll only like me for my money. And so they're competing with each other. So we have to surface these limiting beliefs and replace them with positive beliefs. That's one of the major things that I think stops people from being successful.
Dlaczego tak ciężko jest nam wyjść z naszej strefy bezpieczeństwa? To znaczy czujemy się w danym miejscu dobrze i boimy się zrobić kroku do przodu w podążaniu właśnie za naszym celem.
Well, we all have this comfort zone, which is the zone we're comfortable in. And so when we're outside of it, we're uncomfortable. And I think people are afraid to look foolish. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to lose face, lose money, lose their homes, you know, lose their jobs, whatever. And I always say everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. So you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. I teach people if you fold your hands like this, that's comfortable. You fold them the other way with your thumb up here, it's uncomfortable. However, if you were to hold your hand that way for about 5 minutes, it stops being uncomfortable. And so people have to get used to just being a little uncomfortable every single day. Not so much that you freeze up, but a little bit of discomfort every day is what produces success.
A dlaczego jesteśmy tym, o czym myślimy?
Well, our thoughts control everything. And, you know, if you are thinking about failure, you're going to create failure. If you're thinking about losing your home, you're probably going to lose your home. If you're thinking about, you know, nobody's going to like you, you're going to be in a space of thinking that, and then people will not be attracted to you because you're so shy or you're inside yourself or whatever. What you think about comes about. So basically, these pictures in our brain activate the law of attraction, and they also activate what we talked about earlier, the reticular activating system in the brain. So that I teach people only read about, talk about, fantasize about that which you want to bring about. If you are worrying, it's basically negative goal setting. Every time I'm worrying, I'm thinking about what I don't want. And so you have to stop that, because literally thoughts are things. They have energetic waves, like a sound wave, just like your cell phone is sending out a signal that I can pick up on my cell phone. Your brain is sending out a signal that people can pick up. People walk into a room and they go, bad vibes. Or they walk into a room and they go, oh, it feels great here, I want to stay here. Or they look at you and they see you smiling and they go, oh, I want to go meet him. Lady Gaga, you put your picture on there, she liked it, evidently, you know. So it's really critical that you constantly be thinking positive thoughts.
Parę tygodni temu podjąłem decyzję o tym, że chcę motywować ludzi, nie tylko w Polsce, ale też na całym świecie. I normalnie bym powiedział, czy zezwolisz mi kiedyś z Tobą wystąpić? Teraz powiem inaczej. Za parę lat stanę z Tobą na scenie i mam nadzieję, będę motywował innych ludzi.
That would be fabulous. I believe you'll do that. Look at you now. We're standing here doing a television show together.
Give me 2 years.
You should come take my Train the Trainer program.
Thank you so much. Jeszcze raz zachęcam wszystkich do przeczytania tej książki, naprawdę do podjęcia decyzji, żeby zmienić swoje życie, bo jednak to w nas jest siła i to my decydujemy o tym, jak przeżyjemy każdy kolejny dzień z naszego życia. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.